start the live stream. And it's being live streamed, so let's go. So here I am live streaming on YouTube, and here it is, it's coming up on the screen here, the photography in the snow, and you can see it's doing that. So hi everyone, it's been snowing here in London, well pretty much all over the UK. I need to go back to Zoom to stop this, and I do this by going up to the top of the screen, I click here, and I can press stop. So thanks for watching. Take care. Okay, so that's how you do it. I've actually just created a video.
Hey, Kristen,
Hey,
turn my camera on.
are we live yet?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Righty. I think we are good. This is my first time, so if I butcher it, I apologize.
Well, that's all right. I don't know what you're doing, so it all looks good to me.
Alrighty. I think we're good.
Are we doing a real now?
So how are you doing today?
Are we live? Is this real now?
We are live.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Good. Is a Wednesday, you know what I mean? Just got through it, barreled through it. Came home, ate food, got ready for this. How's your day?
All right. There's a little bit of an echo,
Oh, from
and
me.
I'm trying to kill this echo. Uh-oh. I think I did something here. Ah, alrighty now. Let me see. It's still reading live right now.
Hmm.
Actually, there's a better way for me to do this. YouTube Elrod TV Network. What I'm going to do, because we're actually live right now.
Hmm.
So, what I want to do is make sure, and for anyone listening, I totally apologize.
This is just what we do.
YouTube Elrod TV Network.
We just like figure it out as we go.
Okay. Alrighty. Now, the only thing is, I don't know if there's other people watching it or not, but I could take a quick glance.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good thing to know.
I totally feel so bad that we're winging this right now, but
It's just it's what we do. It's just what
I mean, everybody. So, and my
and
favorite.
I actually have some really good stuff to go over if I could get everything going, right?
Yeah, for sure. I got things. I got topics. I got thirsty topics.
Okay, looks like we definitely are live here. Alrighty, Kristen. We can go ahead and go.
Okay.
Um, sorry about the technical delays there.
Yeah, it's just, it's just how we operate. We're just gonna figure it out as we go. So, do you want to tell everybody what we're doing?
Uh, well, for everyone who's watching or will be watching, we are doing a new segment called Thirsty Topics. And
Yeah.
basically, on a weekly basis or bi-weekly, depending on what's going on, we get together either on a Wednesday or Thursday, depending on our schedules, and we get on for an hour and talk about different things that happen in pop culture or social media and other platforms, and just have an open discussion between me and Kristen. And then also, everyone who watches, we entertain any questions or comments.
Yes. And hopefully entertain, like, in general,
Absolutely.
So this is an offshoot of our Thirsty Conversations show that is also on Elrod TV Network. On that show, we typically interview people, but here we're just getting literally me and Lawrence are the like opposite people. So like Chicago black male, suburbs, Michigan white female, like just two ends of the spectrum. So you get to hear lots of opinions that are just, oddly the same. For us being so opposite, we have a lot of the same thoughts on things.
Very true.
All right, who's gonna kick us off? Do you want to start up?
It's up to you. I'll let you start off.
Oh, okay. So I thought we would start off light because the world is. Can we swear on YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not, lace filled and like a sailor, I think we're fine.
The world is effed. All right, I'll save my swears. I'll save them up. The world is effed. So I thought I'd keep it light. I'd start light-ish. With a you're gonna be like, dude. With a royalty topic. Do you know anything about the royal family?
Pretty much what I see on TV or what I read on social media.
Okay, so it was recently now he is King Charles the Third birthday, and he did not invite his youngest son Harry, or his wife Meghan Markle, the American. Thoughts?
Wow.
Right.
I mean, I get it. You have to. I mean, they're technically not working for the Royals like they did in the past. But I guess I'm looking at it as, okay, this is your family, I don't know. I mean, I guess, and the other thing too, I look at it as, I mean, I get it that there's a lot of tradition and it goes back centuries and stuff. But, as king, you can change that too if you really wanted to.
Yes. Your mom is dead. You can do what you want now, boy. Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, and especially it's because it's so weird. I almost imagine like the royal family is like being in a family business. You know what I mean? Like you quit the family business, like are you kicked out of the family? Is that like and I mean for them it almost seems like yes, you quit the family business, you're kicked out of the family. So, Harry had wrote this book called Spare. I don't know if you'd heard of it. So there is this saying, and like everybody's like, oh, he's just, being a sad sack or whatever. But there's a saying, like, in over across the pond that when you have kids, you have an heir and a spare. And so that is like he was the spare. And so now and like it's not just him like calling himself that. I think as Americans we don't know. That he is if anything happens to William, at least we have Harry. And so it's kind of like, and now William's got kids of his own. So if anything happens to William, it succeeds down to his children. And Harry is kind of obsolete as far as the royal family is concerned.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think that, I mean, what was tradition or what was standard, 50 years ago, even 10, 15 years ago, it's not the same now.
Yeah.
Because, the younger generations, they don't look at things the same.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, the reason why you go through a lot of heartache is self-inflicted. Would it have really killed them to invite Harry and his wife to the birthday party? I don't think so.
Right.
But, the thing is that you have to take a look at it. And, you also see this in private business too. Because I've seen this where ownership wants their kids to take over the family business. And if the kids don't want to do it, they're shunned by the family, which I think is so ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
And it happens way more often than people think it does.
Well, and I think also what's interesting is after, Megan was like, having some severe like mental illness and depression with being, postpartum and with, in England away from her friends and family, Harry did what someone mentioned to me as he did for Megan what Diana needed someone to have done for her. And it was like, oh, just like, okay, we're not healthy and happy here. Let's go. And I mean, it was something that, Diana, he's, an 8-year-old boy walking behind his mom's coffin, remembering the divorce and the affair and like all of this led to her being in a car and, maybe killed by the paparazzi. I don't know. That's a theory out there. But you know what I mean? That just being chased by the paparazzi, like he's just so aware that it all kind of from that relationship that went bad with his dad. So I don't know. I think he did what he really needed to do for Megan.
Right.
And like, unfortunately, his family's like, well, you chose your side. Now deal with it.
Yeah. But I do think that at some point, the king does have to take a look at the situation and ask himself, is it really worth it?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's may rip that family apart.
Yeah.
Because, to kind of snub them like that, the situation already is bad enough. That didn't make it any better.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's, I don't know. I mean, or like the thing is though, like he potentially did weigh his options and he potentially did think it's not worth me breaking tradition and inviting this, outcast to my birthday party. Like, I mean, that's the other part of it. It's like, we think he didn't even consider it, but like, maybe he did consider it. And it was more important for him to uphold this tradition of I'm only inviting the people that, love the monarchy and love the sovereign. And it's more important to have that than it is to have family. And that's potentially how he actually feels.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no right or wrong answer because, some people are going to go, well, it's part of tradition. Other people are going to go, that's ridiculous. That's your son. But I do say this, whatever decision you make, just be man enough to deal with the consequences that may come, good or bad.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Like, could never do that myself, but like, I mean, yeah, anybody who chooses to, you better, once the comeuppance comes up, you better not be surprised.
Yes. All righty.
What do you got? Next topic.
Okay. I actually got some good ones. Let me see which is a really, really good one. You know what? I'm gonna go with the big one right now. I want to know from you because I've asked some women that I know, and I'm quite sure you saw the story about the women didn't want to go to Applebee's.
No, I never heard of this. What?
You kidding me, right?
No.
Oh my God, this went viral. They were talking about on different shows.
No.
Here's the story. This woman went out on a date with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to Applebee's. No, he's going to take it to Applebee's for the first date. Now, mind you, first date, they don't even know each other. Well, first of all, she's live streaming, which I don't know why she's live streaming and, you're supposed to be on a date. But she is not getting out the car because she feels that it's you don't take her to Applebee's on the first date.
Oh.
And she goes to, look at me, I'm too good for this. And, I'm not going to no Applebee's. And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
And she would not even get out the car.
That's wild.
Her date goes, you know what? It looks like we're not made for each other. So I'm just going to take you home now. She goes, what? And that's how the video kind of ends. And I know I watched them talk about it on another show, the daytime talk show.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I did not know about this story was that he actually was going to take her to a nice restaurant, but he waited over an hour for her. So he had to cancel. Now, nicer restaurants,
Reservation.
Once it gets to like 10 or 15 minutes, you're not there. Your reservation's canceled.
Yeah.
So he still wanted to take her to a nice place, but I guess maybe it's me, but is there a problem on a first date going to Applebee's?
I mean, I don't think so, but like, that's the type of person I am. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's one of those things that's like, because there are definitely women out there who are like, I know my worth. You better treat me like a princess. And like, I mean, I don't disagree with that. Like, if that's how you go through life, like, and that's how you present yourself, and that's like how you want other people to value you. And like, I don't do that myself, but like, I would never tell anybody to lower their expectations. So if she was really expecting something nice and got dressed up, like, I mean, yeah, maybe she should not have behaved that way. But I mean, I think there's just so many different ways that it could have been handled. That I mean, it almost seems like it was a misunderstanding, and then nobody acted properly to remedy it. So I mean, if she's like, I'm too good for Applebee's, like, all right, good on her. She knows she's got her standards and she's not, deviating from them. But I'm not that person. Like, yeah, give me a friggin' quesadilla burger, whatever the heck you make there. Give me a blooming onion. Is that there? But
I mean, I guess the way I look at it, now granted, it's been, over 20 years since I've even had to take someone on a date. But I guess if you're on your first date, you're getting to know each other.
mm-hmm.
I would think that the restaurant would be less as important as sitting down, talking to get to know each other. Because, on your first date, you don't even know if you like each other or not. Right. Now, There are exceptions to the rule. I probably would not take a woman to, McDonald's or Burger King or nothing like that,
Yes.
But also, too, we don't know what this guy's finance is because, maybe because, again, to go to a 5-star restaurant is not cheap.
Right.
And the average person, can't afford that.
Right.
And I don't know. I guess I look at it as if we're on our first date and I don't even know you yet, I think it's a little bit early to make demands.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. And I think, well, and it's just I mean, clearly not right for each other.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, they're just clearly not right for each other. And so it's good. I mean, it's good that it got out of the way, but
Sure.
I mean, he was an easygoing girl, and that's not it. Like, you had to wait an hour for her. I mean, and not even, I mean, did he tell her we have reservations? We have to get going. Like, who knows?
But who knows? Even if he didn't have reservations, I think on your first date, to make someone wait over an hour, I think it's a little bit on the disrespectful side.
100%. Like, yes. I mean, there's like, if you have to make anybody wait that long, you have to like have a real good reason. Like, I just got out of the emergency room and maybe we need to like cancel. Yeah, there's no making anybody wait in general, but I mean, communication is always pretty key. I think like it kind of seems like the people in that were trying to do like a gotcha,
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I know my worth. I'm not eating at this POS restaurant. And he's like, but I gotcha. I was going to take you someplace nice, but you ruined it. Like, it just seems like there was just so much like trying to kind of one up each other and poke at
But
each other.
but I would think it was kind of weird. Why were you live streaming on a date though?
That's weird. That, I mean, yes, that's the one part that's going totally unnoticed is yes, why were you live streaming? Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of weird, you know.
It's so weird. It's super weird.
Because, you know, some people thought that maybe they put this on, but I don't think so. Because the guy looked like, you know, he had that look like, what are you doing? You know, and he glanced at the camera a couple of times because, you know, you don't expect to be on live stream when you're going on a date.
No. I think maybe she like started live streaming thinking that she was going to get people on her side and then could just
That's
like,
true.
you know, but I mean, to start that way, I don't know. That's insane. Like all of it. They're just definitely not right for each other. Because even when you mentioned like, you know, financially, like not everybody's, you know, like financially able to go to a super nice restaurant, especially on a first date when you're not even sure they're worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But like she's obviously looking for somebody that has no problem paying for a 5-star restaurant. So it's like you two were wrong to begin with. Somehow you've gotten on each other's nerves right out the gate.
I mean, even if he can afford it, that doesn't mean he's obligated to.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
And I think that, you know, the sad part is that there are some people that feel that, well, you know, if you want to take me out, you need to wine and dine me and spend all this money and this and that. And it kind of goes against what the actual real reason of that first date is to get to know who you are.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and in some cases, like again, I know that some women want to like be impressed, you know, like my husband, now I know, vacuumed his car before our first date. You know what I mean? And but like now I see his car and I'm like, oh yeah, you don't keep it that clean. But you know what I mean? Like usually you're really trying to put your like best face forward. So I mean, if a woman's like literally the best you can do is Applebee's, and again, to me, like Kristen has no problem with the Applebee's being the best you can do. But I mean, some women want more, like especially if she made, you know, $300,000 a year. And she's like, I know what I bring to the table. What do you bring to the table? And then he's like, well, I got Applebee's. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I just, in general, like, I never want a woman to like try to compromise their, like, what they feel they're worth.
Mm-hmm.
But like, do I think it's ridiculous? Yes. Would I ever do that? No. Would I be okay with Applebee's? 100% yeah. Like, that's it. And she's probably a bitch and I would not be friends with her, but whatever. I still support her. Girl power.
I hear you. I hear you. So, yeah, that's pretty much the consensus. Most people kind of think the same way we do. Most people feel that it was kind of a little on the ridiculous side, but you know, the thing is, and I agree with the majority of people is like, you know what? Now he knows what he's dealing with. So he has a choice of whether to move forward or walk away.
Or walk away. And I love that he responded with like, this clearly is not working out for us. And I mean, it's possible, like she could have been live streaming it like as a whole gimmick. Like it could have been her gimmick. Like
True.
that I'm gonna pretend that I do not like this restaurant. I'm gonna pretend that I'm too good for this. Let's see what he does. Let's see what kind of guy he is. You know, and it could have been her gimmick, and he's not even knowing, you know, necessarily that it was like a setup, and maybe she doesn't really care. And she's just doing it for views and thinks it's funny. But I like his response. He's like, we're not right. Like,
I mean, he was a total gentleman. I get to give it to him, you know.
Yeah.
Even waiting an hour on a first date, because there's some guys that would, you know, it's like, okay, it's 30 minutes, it's getting ridiculous, I'm out.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, I would not. I would never wait. I mean, to be a total jerk about it, I don't think I'd wait like 10 minutes for anybody on a first date. I'd be like, this is so rude and like disrespectful. I'm just gonna go. We'll reschedule maybe.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
And then I'd ghost them. I'm just kidding. I never ghosted anybody. I don't think. I did.
I hear you. I hear you. I am really shocked you didn't hear about this story. It was all
Didn't it?
over social media.
It's so funny. No, my head is just in the clouds like during the week. It's all just work and taking care of a baby and a family and trying not to set my hair on fire and
I
just
hear you.
see. Okay, so I have a question
Mhm.
similar to yours now that that was a pop culture story, but this is more just a random life thing. What everyday object do you feel is either quickly or gradually becoming obsolete in this new world?
You can actually say that for several things.
So many.
I would say the house phone is one of them.
Oh, that's dead. Like, I don't even think that's like almost. That's gone. That's gone. Yeah.
I would say the other thing too is being able to talk to a human being when you have to call customer service.
Yeah. You have to go through so many robots.
Oh yes, you have to go through so many robots. Sometimes they're not even in the same country,
No. Uh-uh.
and you know, even with um, being able to have real stories. Because actually, I was going to bring this up, but this kind of actually touches on it. But even with AI,
Oh, yeah.
because AI is like kind of scary,
Oh, yeah. It can learn. Like, do you want a computer to learn? No. There are like human, like living creatures that like can't even learn. Why do we need technology to learn? But no, especially though, I would like to piggyback on that though. What ends up being so frustrating, I think, with those dialing someplace and getting the recording is literally you are probably calling because the thing you want to do cannot be done on their website.
Exactly.
As you're sitting there, they're going, for quicker service, log on to www.ourwebsite.com for blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I tried, okay? I can't dispute a transaction online, like, or whatever. So it's like, you just get that constant reminder. You're just like, shut up. This is so obvious that, like, you're a machine. And this is a recording because, like, you're just so out of touch with the situation, you know?
But it even gets worse because I've had situations where I had to call customer service of them, and they give you options on the phone.
Yeah.
Dial one for this, and of course, none of the options are for what I'm looking for.
Never. No.
And some of them don't even allow you to hit 0 for an operator anymore. So you go on this endless loop, and you're forced to just choose something just so you can get a live person.
Yes, it'll just like try to confuse the system just to get a person. Yeah. So I was thinking the one thing that the reason that I came up with this question is I was thinking about banks. I legit opened a savings account over the weekend on a Saturday afternoon from a bus on my phone. Like, what? Like, just like banks aren't even open on Saturdays. And if they are, they're open till noon. And like, it's like, I did all of this from my phone on a freaking bus. Like, and I just think about it, like, you can open everything online. Yeah. You can make deposits through an ATM. You can call customer service. Like, there's really nothing you need to go into a bank for. It's not like, getting a loan, yes, but I'm sure there's like even like loan companies that you can just call up and give them information, and they'll like take your word for it until they have a down payment or cash. But yeah, banks just like no one even writes checks anymore. To like, I shouldn't say that because I write checks, but a lot of people.
You know what? 90 99% of the time I pay online. There's a small handful of stuff that I still write checks for, but it's extremely small.
Yeah,
And the thing is that since the pandemic has changed a lot about how we do everything.
that's true for sure.
And even though, yes, you're right, it is scarily easily how you can open up a bank account,
Hmm.
which is convenient, but also kind of scary at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is that even I order from Amazon all the time.
Hmm.
And before the pandemic, I would have never thought about using Amazon. Like, nah, I'll go into the store. But then since the pandemic, when we couldn't get out and you couldn't find stuff, Amazon was the go-to. And then even the return stuff is so incredibly easy. It's like
Yeah.
I typically go, if it's not something very simple, I not gonna go into a store I know and get it. I just go straight to Amazon.
Yeah. No, I mean, same. I actually bought things from Amazon that I knew I could get from a store, but this is where I fall into the Amazon trap, where I could get what I could get from a store, but like I'm not going to the store now, and I remember that I need it now. So if I just go online and buy it now, it'll come to my house, and I'll have already forgotten that it was something I needed. And like maybe it's the ADD, maybe it's that I got too much stuff going on, but like sometimes stuff comes to my door and I'm not like like I bought freaking like Rubbermaid storage bins
Mm.
online. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm buying clothes or shoes or purses. Like I'm buying just pretty basic stuff, but I forget what it is. And then I get it and I was like, oh yeah, I needed a new bin for our Halloween costumes. Like
But
so it
actually, it's for a lot of stuff now. I mean,
yeah.
the only thing I really don't buy online is groceries. I haven't got to that point yet.
Mhm.
But, pretty much anything and everything, I would consider going online to buy now just because of how easy it is to buy and return now.
Oh yeah. I mean, or even just like going to the grocery store, like you can fill out a list, even if you don't like buy and get it delivered to your house, which you can do. You
Yeah.
can make a list, like send it into so many stores, have that service where they shop for you and then you go and pick it up. Like that's still, even though it was like a thing that kind of came about more in the pandemic, like places still offer it. Like I think I mean, and I'm curious though, like, does it make them more or less money? Because I feel like it's more work for them, but I wonder if like it cuts down on stealing or
Um,
also, hmm,
I was thinking it probably in the long run makes them more money, even though, maybe with volume, because the volumes will be a lot higher.
I don't know, because I'm thinking about it and like I grocery shopping and do so many impulse buys.
Hmm.
And so there's no more impulse buying. Like I make a list and I get what is on my list and I don't end up with like a bag of Reese's peanut butter cups and fuzzy sacks. Like, and that's an extra $10 for them. And if I do that every shopping trip, that's probably an extra, couple $100 a year from me just impulse buying. And so
Well,
that's where
stores have thought about people, shoppers like you. That's why, if you notice when you go in, you're like, holy crap, everything has changed around. Now you're looking for the basic stuff you normally would just go in, grab and leave. How they do that purposely.
oh, I'm sure. I don't there is no reason milk has to be the last aisle in it's there because everybody needs it and you have to go past all those other aisles stuff just to get your milk. So yeah, that's yeah. I know they got I mean they got my number, which is why I shop online also because you know what, I get online, I boop the button, I buy my bins, get out of there without fuzzy sacks. So anyways,
That is true.
all right, so yours, I say banks, you say, what did you say? You said phones and oh, automated. Yep, automated.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
I am curious. What is your take on the celebrity effect on things? Like, for example, a good example would be Taylor Swift.
Hmm.
You know, she has a boyfriend who's a NFL player.
Yeah, that was on my list to talk about. So yeah, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
How do you feel about that? Because, you know, it seems like when a celebrity ties themselves to something, even in an indirect way,
Yeah.
it's like all of a sudden that product or that service or whatever just shoots through the roof.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like that's always been the case, right? Like that's why you have spokespeople. So I mean, I don't think that's, all that crazy. And I mean, people, I look up to her and girls look up to her. So I mean, I don't think it's that weird that people became interested and they want to know like what. I know for me, if my like a girlfriend I like or I think really highly of starts dating a guy, I'm like, what does he have to offer? And so I really could see so many people who just love. I mean, I love Taylor Swift. I'm not like huge into her music, but just like all about her. Like I'm a fan of just who she is. And I want to be like, who is this Jack that she's hooked herself up with? Like, is he even good enough for her? So I don't know. I guess I mean there's almost like just a curiosity about it,
Mhm.
but just that celebrity effect in general, I don't know. I guess if there's someone you idolize, you want to be like them, right? So you buy the things they buy and
That's true. I mean, what surprised me about that, about people talking about it, that didn't surprise me. She's a celebrity. The thing that surprised me was how many people actually tuned in to start watching that team.
yeah.
How many people actually bought tickets to go to the game to watch the team? And it's like, wow. I mean, it wasn't a crazy effect. And, you know, you even, great example, Oprah. You
Mhm.
know, Oprah endorses something, you know,
Yeah.
it could turn someone into a multimillionaire just by Oprah endorsing it.
Book club, yeah. Any of those authors, yeah, they're on
Yes.
the bestseller list. Yeah.
And it's amazing to me how literally all they have to do is just mention the name of something and it sells off the shelves. And
Hmm.
you know, I would think that it would that type of thing would die down over time, but it hasn't. Actually, it's probably gotten a lot more
Yeah.
intense now.
Well, and I don't know also if it's because that celebrity is so powerful or if it's just because like their reach is so broad now.
Mm.
Like you everybody knows Taylor Swift. Like her or not, everybody knows her. And so it might be 1% of the people who hear that she's dating Travis Kelce start being interested in football. But like 1% of everybody that knows Taylor Swift is a massive number.
True, true.
So it's like, same thing with like Oprah's reach. I mean, she's got her own network. She had her own magazine. I don't know if she still has it anymore. She did have her own magazine, like obviously had her own talk show. Like, so her reach is just so broad. It's like maybe not everybody idolizes her, but there are just she can reach so many people that it's like even if it's a tiny fraction, do what she asks or buy what she says. Like it's gonna be a lot of freaking people.
True. That's true.
But I'm just so curious when it comes to this Taylor Swift Travis Kelce thing. Like she's dated a lot of other celebrities.
Hmm.
And I don't recall there being this much excitement. You know
True.
what I mean? And I
Hmm.
know like she dated what? She dated like John Mayer back in the day, and she dated um Taylor Lautner back in the day, and I mean just all these other like famous guys. And I remember knowing about it, but I don't remember it being like, I gotta find out about this guy. And so I'm just like I'm wondering what is it about this football player
Well,
that's got
that's what makes the whole thing kind of weird because, like you say, it's not like this is the first time she's dated another celebrity. So, and it's like it's the big talk. You know, they talked about it on the news, and you know, it's not like she's making this big announcement. Literally, she was just there at his games.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
sitting next to his mom. Okay. In their skybox. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like she's like trying to perform at halftime or something. Yeah,
Right.
she's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder about like the appeal of it. And I guess also maybe it's just because again, like she's the opposite of football. Like you don't think Taylor Swift football. I mean, maybe, being Southern, I guess Southern states are much bigger into football, but like you just don't think Taylor Swift sport. And so, I mean, I think it's maybe a surprise because it's not like,
Yeah.
somebody moody and deep and poetic,
Yeah.
it's just like, but I mean, I feel like sometimes that's the best relationships are like the person that can let you be you and you be the deep, dark, weird one, and let me be the, light goofball one.
Hmm.
Maybe she's like officially found the yin to her yang.
True. That's true. I know that he recently, from what I heard, bought a much bigger home now.
Oh, okay.
So
So it's serious.
so we'll see. But yeah, it was just amazed me how people just literally just tuned in to football and started really paying attention to games now because they're dating.
I
But
mean, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. Um, I mean, I'll like watch like if Scott's got football on and like I have nothing else to do, maybe I'll sit in the same room and drink a beer and watch it. Maybe. But yeah, I'm not gonna go research anybody pretty much for any reason.
so you're not gonna look up all the stats and everything?
Dude, there was a show. Oh, what is it called? It was on Netflix. It was about quarterbacks. Um, maybe it was called quarterbacks. I think it was called quarterback. So, and I thought that was very interesting. I watched only a few episodes of it, but it was neat. It had gosh, three different guys who had very different personalities. Mahomes is the only one I can remember, but just because he's such an amazing player. But it was so shocking watching that show and seeing how freaking smart they are. Like that dumb jock thing, like, yeah, maybe in like high school and college, like dumb jock is maybe an accurate description, but like once they're at that level, like they're like borderline geniuses. It's crazy, especially quarterbacks and all that they have to memorize and like, oh my gosh, it like gave me like maybe it didn't make me interested in the game, but it like gave me a new respect for.
But the thing is, a lot of people see them on the field having fun doing what they do, but they're not seeing what they have to do to prepare for that game. The
Yeah.
hours of physical labor to actually make sure that their body's in shape, constantly watching what they put into their bodies, learning plays. And the playbooks aren't that easy to learn because there's different variations and it varies from team to team. So which means if you're traded from one team to another, you got to learn a whole new playbook. And
Oh yeah.
depending on when you're traded during that season, you may not have the time that you need to learn it. So you got to learn it pretty fast. So it's a lot of work that they do. And some people, like I say, kind of overlook that.
Oh, absolutely. Or even like with the plays, they change what they call out for each play. They change what they call out every game. So like no team can memorize. Well, when they call, apple, banana, sugar, square, that means this play. Like they change it every single game. And so
Oh, yeah.
they take like a week to like learn all these new things. And also with that, um, they have to I just find this crazy is like they are playing games, they have to recover for those games, but they have to strike like the perfect balance during the week of like recovering but not getting like out of shape. Like they have to do just the right amount of weightlifting, right amount of cardio, right amount of like practice in order to like be able to recover but also to like not injure themselves more. Like it's insane. It's insane. Like, and it's not even just the players. Like all of the people that know these stats and know like the lightest shoe, like they know the lightest shoe, you know what I mean? What's got the deepest cleat, like just all of the variables that everybody like analyzes is, I mean, it's just a top notch, honestly. Like, I don't want to say sport, but it's just like, it's so much deeper than what anybody thinks, from player to manager to like trainer.
Oh yeah. I think you could probably say that for any professional sport. Because again, they're doing it as their livelihood. It's not just a hobby. So, and then also too, as the owners of these teams, their assets are the players. So they don't want them to get hurt either.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know. When I think anybody at that level, though, if you're getting paid millions of dollars for what you do, like it's way deeper. Like no matter what, like whether it's like an artist, a musician, an athlete, personal development speech giver, like all of it. It's like when you get to that like $1 million mark, it is so much deeper than I think anybody, like any onlooker, realizes.
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the things that people realize too is that, for a professional athlete, the time they're going to play that professional sport, depending on their health, depending on how good they are, is only 5 to 10 years on average.
Right. Yeah. So they better make that money fast and get out before they tear their ACL again.
And the other thing too is they need to have a game plan afterwards. I mean, these men have worked all their life to get to where they're at. But sometimes they keep, sometimes going in, you forget that this is a very, very short period. And they literally, you're one injury away from having everything just stop on you.
Yeah.
So, you have to prepare yourself for life after the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the game is only going to be a short period that you can play. Now, some players are fortunate that they could go past the 10-year mark, but it's very few of them. Most of them fall within that 5 to 10-year mark.
Yeah. And I mean, after that, like, I love the idea of them going and being coaches or being announcers or, like still being able to stay inside in the sport. But it's just, I think it is a shame when you do work your whole life for something and then like an injury takes it away. I mean, that just, I think, is the most heartbreaking thing. So there still being opportunities for them to stay in the sport. I mean, at least that's like a little bit of a silver lining, Okay, so my next topic that I wanted to talk about happened on Friday.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna see if you know this yet. The first female rapper to get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Missy Elliott, obviously. Definitely.
Yes. What are your thoughts? Tell me your thoughts on this.
I think it's great. I really do. I really like the fact that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opens up the ability for people to come in regardless of whether they do rock and roll or not. So in other words, they respect every genre. Yeah. And I remember years ago, they thought that hip hop and rap was just a fad. And what are we, 30 years later now?
Right. Real long fad. Yeah. No, I just remember her when I was younger. And like one thing I loved about her is like coming from like a chubby kid, you know what I mean? Like I love that she wasn't like TLC or, you know what I mean? Like she wasn't a Christina Aguilera. She was like this bigger lady just with so much talent. And it was just like, it was so obvious she got in and she got famous because she was so talented and she was a genius when it came to mixing her music with her like lyrics and the melody and like I don't know, it felt very earned, you know. And I'm not saying nobody else earns it, but it was ingenious. Like it was new, and it was I can't think of the word, but it means all those good things. But it was new, and it was, just it just never had been done before, with like the just the different like beats and just all the music that went along with it. But yes, I loved it. And I guess to continue with that, I remember when I think I don't know if she had like a bariatric surgery or she just lost a bunch of weight. And I remember being like, oh my God, please don't become like Nicki Minaj. Like, and not that I don't like Nicki Minaj, but like, it was just like, please don't like ride your looks, like, because that was one thing. She was so talented. I was like, please don't like water yourself down now. And she didn't. Like, that was at the end of the day, she didn't. Like, she was on, she was inducted in her like gold sequined tracksuit and bucket hat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she didn't change because she lost weight. But I mean, I know that was, the fat kid in me was worried.
Well, the interesting thing is I saw the interview that she did with Robin Roberts.
Okay.
And the one thing that surprised me is how much she shared in that interview. A lot of people did not know that she struggled with a lot of health problems over the years.
Sure. Yeah.
And, the thing that surprised me the most was she was with someone, I forgot who she was with. And she had said how she was in so much pain that she couldn't even write. So, the artist she was working with had to write down the lyrics for her.
Oh my God.
And to push through pain to do your craft, that's one thing. But I really tip my hat off to her for sharing that story because, that's kind of deep. Most people won't go that deep into things that they've had to go through. But, I like the fact, I love it when people do that, even on our show, when people expose themselves and kind of let you see the other side of them. I think it helps people let them know that you can do anything. And yes, you're going to have trials and tribulations along the way, and you're not alone. The people that you see and you look up to, they've had to overcome some things, and some people still are.
Yeah. No, I was so excited to see that. And I know, I didn't realize that she was the first female though. I don't know, was it last year or the year before? Eminem was inducted.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really one of the first times I realized how outside of the genre of rock and roll they'll go. Because I think even like Dolly Parton was inducted, and it was just like, she's not rock and roll. So, I mean, I really like that they will recognize that like other music absolutely has its place in history. And I watched her like closing medley of her songs, and it was just it was so like she still got it. She's got all these dancers like it was like, yep, you deserve this. More than anything, you absolutely deserve this.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how much work Missy Elliott puts in, not only, as a music artist herself, but even behind the scenes, as a producer.
Yeah.
Because she's produced a lot of great music.
Yeah, like, I mean, she's written for like Beyonce.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else she's written for. I know that one for sure, but she's written for a lot of people. She's produced a lot of people's music, like Timbaland, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, she's definitely like, but she's not a one-trick pony.
No. And the thing is, what I love is that, a lot of times when you have your craft, sometimes people won't help you or, give you a chance. And, the thing is that sometimes, and I've always said this, if someone won't open the door for me, I'll just build my house and I'll just open as many doors as I need.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need anybody. I mean, it's nice, but you don't need.
That's true. Though it would be nice to have help every so often, but
Right. Like, every once in a while. But yes. Yeah. I think have we concluded it is 6:57, 7:57? Mm-hmm. Have we concluded our first Thirsty Topics show.
We have done our first Thirsty Topics show.
Hooray!
And it's actually live because I have my TV on just to make sure. So yes, it is live on YouTube. So
Well, good. So thank you for everybody who tuned in and watched us fumble our way through this.
and I promise next time it will be a little cleaner.
We make all these promises.
Well, Kristen, my partner in crime, you enjoyed the rest of your week.
You two will talk later.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.